All right, Mo, I'm actually going to start with you. Washington football team at Buffalo Bills. Who has the edge in offense? Who has the edge in defense? Who has the edge in coaching? Who's going to win in the score?
Ah, definitely. I no disrespect to us, but definitely Buffalo has the edge in offense. You look at it, look at their quarterback from last year. Josh Allen was an MVP, a top 5 MVP candidate. You look at their weapons across the board; they have more weapons on the offensive side across the board than we do. They have. I think our defense is up there or better across the board. So I would take our defense. Coaching wise, honestly, I think our coach is more seasoned. I won't disrespect our coach like that to say Sean McDermott's better. I think he's done a bang up job, an excellent job with this Buffalo team as far as bringing them back and having the excitement there in Buffalo. But I think Ron Rivera is the better coach. If you give us the same talent that Buffalo has, I would take Ron Rivera twice on every day of the week. So this game scares me from a standpoint of if we don't get the pass rush there, we don't get there, I don't know if our secondary will hold up against Buffalo receivers. That's my fear lies. I think if we get there, we can get pressure on Josh Allen, get him off his spots. I think we have a chance. My thing is, will we score enough? We want to score. We can't. We want to score just like we did against the Giants. We want to score. We can't come out there and be only 7 points at halftime, 10 points at halftime, and stay with Buffalo. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm going to go a shocker here, us winning. I'm going to say 27-24.
All right, cool. Corey, Washington football team at the Bills.
I think this is another early test for Washington. They played well enough to win week 1. That late fumble backed up in their own end, cost them the game. They got lucky to get the win week 2 from a dumb mistake from the Giants. Buffalo was upset week 1 by a Pittsburgh team that who knows how they're going to end up looking, and then bounce back in a big way against Miami. Heineke's looked solid when he's been called on, but he still has a really small sample size. Both teams have good defenses. I think it's a push there. Both offenses right now have question marks. With Washington Heineke, teams have at least a couple of games worth of film on him to watch now. We can potentially start game planning for what he likes to do in the NFL, and we'll see how he responds with that. I think this is his first road start as well. His others, I believe, came at home. For Buffalo, the running game is as bad as last year. They didn't really do anything to fix it. I can't really explain that one. But Josh Allen just doesn't look quite the same as he did last year. So we'll see which offense can kind of put it together first in this game. I think coaching-wise, it's a push as well. Both teams have quality head coaches. I think the 9-point spread is a bit high. I don't think it'll be that one-sided of a game. But I do think in the end, the Bills will probably come out on top. I would go 28-24 Buffalo.
All right. Washington football team. The offense, I got to give the edge to Buffalo. They have Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen. Once again, the Washington football team offense is shaky at times. And Heineke, the sample size is small. But he did have he did have a game-winning drive against the Giants. Even though the Giants had so many penalties, and that's probably the reason why people are going to lose their job this year. Talking about the New York Football Giants. Defense, I'm going to give the edge to the Washington football team, even though they have not been stellar this year at all. So they've been sloppy. They've been lacking discipline. but I still give them the edge over Buffalo's defense at this point in time of the year. This is going to be a huge test for them. So let's see if they can. Let's see if they can bring it, man. It's gonna be, man. It's hard to play in Buffalo. Those fans, it's hard, man. They've got some great fans. It's just a tough place to play. Coaching, now, both coaches are really good. Both are very good, established in the NFL. Both made the playoffs last year. I'm gonna give the edge to McDermott because they just came from the AFC Championship game. I gotta give them the edge. They just left the AFC Championship game, but both are great coaches. McDermott is from the Ron Rivera coaching tree, as we all know. I think it's going to be a really good game, and I have the Bills beating the Washington football team 24-17. All right, Craig.
I think that as far as the offense goes, I probably would favor. It's tough. It's tough. I probably would slightly, just because of the quarterback, I would favor the Bills. I don't think Fitzpatrick is that much better than Heineke, but I think he's just more of a veteran. He's more of a veteran quarterback. I think, and we haven't really got to see pretty much at all what he would have been capable of doing with this offense. Just 6 passes. But Heineke brings a different element. I think he's more mobile, so he can run out of the pocket and make plays. And there's not a lot of film on him yet still. But I think Josh Allen was MVP candidate last year. He hasn't played well this year so far. Struggling. I think he was like about 50% passing last game against the Dolphins in the game that they shut him out. But overall, I would probably pick the Bills offense. As far as defense goes, I think it's even. I think both teams are right. I think Washington has the potential to be better. And before the season, I thought they were better, but they just haven't played as good as I think they can. Haven't played great, or haven't played great. Even the game against San Diego, the Chargers, they gave up over 400 yards total. And unfortunately, the Chargers was only able to score 20 points. Like, they just couldn't put the ball in the end zone. They had dropped passes by Keenan Allen and things like that. So penalties, that fumble that Herbert had, I don't know if that was a fumble that went like 15 yards, but they had stuff like that go against them and kind of cost them points. But still, and then you come up with the Giants game. I think they gave up another 400 yards total in that game, and they let Danny Dimes just run over him. They had 95 yards rushing, and I don't think he's much of a rusher, running quarterback. I think both teams have their opportunities to, as far as defense, to play well. I think it's, like I said, I just think it's even. Coaches, I probably would slightly lean more towards Ron Rivera, just because I think he's been proven in the playoffs what he can do and overall, and I still think McDermott still needs a little bit more time. I know they obviously know each other well. It should be a interesting chess match between those two. And I kind of agree with Corey that it shouldn't be a 9-point favorite for Buffalo. I think Buffalo should be the favorite, but I don't know about 9 points, especially the way they have been playing. Like, the offense hasn't really been anything spectacular. They didn't show up against the Steelers at all. And like, Josh Allen hasn't looked like MVP Josh Allen to me. If I were to pick a score, I think it'll be a decent scoring game. I'll probably go 27-23, but I'm going Buffalo. I think maybe if they're in Washington, I could see Washington winning this game. But just playing on the road against a tough team, I'm going with the Bills.